Hey everybody, it's Mark from City Creek Bottoms Farmstead with another fireside chat. Yeah, I'm back on Highway 21, videoing on the way to work. I thought I'd talk a little bit tonight for a few minutes, then maybe a little bit in the morning on the way home. But I wanted to go through the intersection again with this camera running, which I have several times. But I figured I'd do this one with a video. A lot of times I've just been running that and not saying nothing. But I just thought I'd show it to you one more time, and then we'll go from there. Let me go ahead and get past this car. They want to not go that fast for some reason. But hope everybody's had a good week. This is Wednesday. Be May 15th. It's about 8:41. Alabama time, so Central time. I'm heading to work. Do this right here every day, usually 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days. It gets old sometimes, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. So, hope y'all enjoyed this past Friday night's live. And Joe and Pat had Wendell come on. Justin wasn't able to, but I hope y'all enjoyed listening to some more of the audio and talking a little more about what went on at Hollins. Hopefully, if there's more comes out of it, we'll be able to talk about it later down the road and let everybody hear about it. We'll share it if everybody's willing to. But I believe we had a very good live. I always look forward to Friday nights, there's no doubt about it. It's a fun time. Thought I was going to have a guest this week, but he had something come up, but maybe somebody else will pop up. I know I got a couple more people I got to talk to and set a date with them when I get a chance to. And have some more people on Friday Night Live for y'all, just to sit here and discuss anything from whatever we want to talk about. Ain't got to be about Bigfoot, paranormal, ghost. It can be about anything. So I'm still about 1.5 miles away from that intersection, so we'll be there in just a minute. Woodwalkers had a good show on this past week, and last night E.E. Pulling, Mason Dixon Cryptid done their first live show, so y'all go check them guys out. They're up there in the Maryland area. Go give them a like and subscribe to the channel, and it's another good group of guys. So y'all go check that out. Also, remember the other people we support. Chris Reinhardt with Untold Radio and Discover Sasquatch. Beast Group, SAS Group. Red Creek. There's a Squatch and Holler. And then, of course, on Facebook, you got Miss Bama, Flat Rock, several others. So y'all go support them people and check out their stuff and go from there. Sometimes I don't do a shout out to everybody, but I try to remember everybody if I can. So I hadn't heard much going on this week. It's been very quiet, actually. Nothing going on strange around the house that I know of. I did lose my, not Gypsy, the German short hair, but I lost my English pointer, Marshall, Monday. I come home and found him passed away. I don't know what happened with that dog. He is very healthy, acting. I don't know. So, y'all know as well as I've said, I've always had a bird dog my whole life. Even if I wasn't quail hunting, I had bird dogs. So, I will later down. Well, German Shorthair is a bird dog too. But I've always been very partial to the English pointers. I've always had one. So here pretty soon I'll probably go on a search for a bird dog, much as I hate it. And he was good because he would bark out there and let us know stuff was around. And him and the guineas played with each other. It was funny. He'd be pointing them, chasing them, then they'd turn around and chase him. I don't know what happened. So anyway, it is what it is. So sometimes animals just die. All right, I'm coming up on this intersection where I told y'all that I seen the figure. That's probably the best way to say that, figure or it. And of course I'm going to get caught by the red light, which is a good thing for a minute because y'all can kind of see what I was talking about that night. I'm the first one at the red light. See that First Street sign right yonder, if y'all can see it. I don't know if you can see it. Right in there. That's where that figure was. But he was out here toward this turn lane that you can see is right there. If you can look to your right, there's the turn lane. He was walking almost on that white line. He would have been right in this area, right in here where we're at now, when that car passed him and he disappeared. That's how close I was to that. Thank goodness it ain't happened again. I don't know if I really want to experience that again, to be honest with you. So that was, I've been looking around, trying to research a little bit. Not really finding a lot. I found where some wrecks had happened here with some fatalities. Like somebody said, might need to look more toward maybe when they were building this through here. This road part here used to not be here. This is the bypass. They came in here and built this years ago, and built the bypass all the way around Talladega. Of course, I just turned off on 77 north to go toward where I work at in the little town of Lincoln. But just wanted to run that by you again. Didn't notice nothing. Every time I come up to that, I'm looking, but not seeing nothing. So really, I don't really have a good answer for it. So somebody asked, maybe my eyes are just playing a trick at night. Really don't think so. I wasn't having no vision problems that night or anything, and I seen, I think, what I saw. So around the house, been quiet since I seen the grayish colored whatever it was. I'm inclined to say it was a booger, but I may be wrong. I hadn't really noticed anything else. I did notice some movement the other day behind my shop. I was cleaning the ashes out of my fire pit where I do the fire pit nights. And I've got a big dirt pile. I go dump some of the ash in, mix it in with the dirt, save it for later day for compost. And there was some movement in that woods, and I did see a black looking object, and then it just disappeared. So I don't know, really just don't know what that could have been, but it disappeared, and that's about all I can say on it. Other than that, it's been quiet at the house. Rebecca said it's been very quiet at night, dog. Well, dog's inside, and they're really just sister now. Because Gypsy can't hear nothing no way, and she don't hardly bark anyway. Uh, so. But what I'm going to talk to you about in the morning, on the way home, I'm going to talk about the 4 known boogers and some other creature from Alabama that reported in the newspaper. So I'm going to do a little history in the morning on the way back home. So I'm fixing to stop this video for tonight, not bore you with all the way at night time going to work. Mainly wanted a video through the intersection again. But I'm going to talk to you in the morning about the Choccolocca monster that people were seeing back in the early 1900s in the Choccolocca Creek community, which is around the White Plains over toward the Armourville, Anniston area. Even got the sheriff of Calhoun County involved in it with what I guess you call a posse. He got a group of people going around looking for him. They found footprints. They did, and this was recorded in the Anniston paper. That's what I'm going to do tonight, is make sure what the paper was called then. That way if somebody wanted to research that, they could. There's known booger sightings out in that area today. Choccolocca Wildlife Management Area, which is in the northern part of the Talladega National Forest, has a lot of booger sightings. The other one would be the peach monster from Chilton County, our peach growing area of Alabama, which is 30 miles southwest of Sylacauga. Back in the 50s and 60s, some of the peach farmers were complaining about something getting in their peaches and tearing up their trees, and they started finding footprints. The sheriff of that county at the time did make casts of the footprints. They were in the Chilton County courthouse for years, my understanding is, then they disappeared. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to go over the Alabama white thing, which is something that's been going on here for years that people talk about. Bama Murdoch done a show on the Beast TV one night, been several months ago, about the Alabama white thing. There is a page in Alabama dedicated to it called the Alabama White Thing on Facebook. Y'all can go check it out. Some of it I think is people just BSing on there, and then I think there's people being for real on there. I do know there are people who have seen the white looking Bigfoot, according to what I saw last 2 weeks ago tomorrow. Anyway, the other one would be the werewolf lady of Mobile. This is supposed to be, I'm assuming, a werewolf thing. Mobile has a lot of French influence, a lot of Spanish influence. Don't know how old that tale is, but I am going to look into it. I've read it up before a little bit. And then there's some other places in Alabama. There's some other things went on. A river serpent that was in the Coosa River. And just did a ton of hauntings. Sloss Furnace, Bryce's Hospital in Tuscaloosa, several places around Selma, Montgomery, Mobile, Huntsville, some of your very old towns, a lot of ghost stuff from that. So we'll talk more about that. We'll get in tomorrow. Be more probably about the booger side than the paranormal side. So anyway, so I'm gonna shut this off for tonight. I'll be back on in the morning on the way home, and we'll go through those 4. Tell you what little bit I know about them, and what you can do if you want to look at it further. So, well, y'all have a good night, and I'll be back in the morning on the way home, and we'll talk about those subjects. Bye-bye. Hey, y'all. I'm back, and I didn't get to film coming home. Oh well. Didn't work out for me this morning, so Anyway, so I thought I'd finish, telling you about 4 fairly well-known cases of, whatever you want to call them, Bigfoot, boogers, in Alabama, that's pretty famous in Alabama. And I think they've been heard in other places too. But, I mentioned the 4 last night, and I'll go through each one a little bit. And you can, if y'all want to do deeper research, you can on it. And I know that, but we'll start with the Alabama white thing. Like I said, Bama done a little show on it back on Beast a few months ago. But the Alabama white thing, according to what most people are saying, and this is mostly up in the Blount County, Etowah, St. Clair, up toward Huntsville, back over toward Coleman, Winston County, Walker County area, where this has been seen the most. And they call it the Alabama white thing. Most people describe it as a Bigfoot, a white looking Bigfoot. It's been seen multiple times all over that area of the state. There's even, like I said, a Facebook page dedicated to it. Now, like I said, part of that page I think has a lot of BS on it, but every now and then I see stuff on there it kind of clicking that's toward the real thing. So if y'all wanted to look at that, you could just type in on Facebook Alabama white thing, and it'd probably carry you right straight to it. And they got a chat, and also they got a, and I keep an eye on it just because I might see something that pops up that I know maybe the truth. But you have them characters that get on there like to make fun of folks and all that stuff too. So I haven't heard of that down my way much, of people seeing white ones. I've heard it once or twice. And of course, I said, last week, right yonder, or not last week, actually 2 weeks ago today, I got a glimpse of something grayish colored white, maybe, whatever you want to call it. Dirty white, if you want to call it that. So Alabama, and if you want to go look that up, you can just type in Alabama white thing on the internet, and Lord, it'll pull up tons of stuff about it. And you can read different things. But kind of what I got from it, what I've one thing that stays pretty steady about it is that it's in that area of Alabama, which is starting about, 40 miles north of here. So, all right, the other one that hasn't really got a lot of, 2 of these really didn't get well, they did. There's articles got put in newspapers about them, and even a couple of television shows done some stuff on it. Was the Chakalaka Bigfoot, or monster as they called it. Now this was seen when all this was going on, was back in the early 1900s. The Anniston newspaper at the time did have articles on it. It got to the point that the sheriff of Calhoun County, which got involved in it, and pretty much, I guess you call it, done a posse. He had a group of citizens and deputies, and they went to looking. They did find tracks. They did look for a while, but they never could find it. But how that got started was a couple of local farmers in the Chakalaka community, which is in there kind of around D. Armourville and White Plains, which is east of Anniston. That's where a lot of the big farmland is out that way, or used to be. It's all getting to be subdivisions now. we're seeing 3 ape-looking figures in their fields and stuff. Way I've read what I've read about it said that you know, 2 big ones and a little one, and they were seen at different farms at different times. Some people shot at them. You know, they'd run off. Just went on for a little while, and then it just disappeared, especially after the sheriff of that county, can't remember his name. You can go find those articles. And at the time, the Anniston newspaper, whatever it was called then, I can't remember, you know, they've changed names over the years, but there was several articles on this. So that's you know, something from the early 1900s, and they called it the Choccolocco Monster. And of course, there's been sightings there since in that area, going back over to Choccolocco Wildlife Management area and up around Piedmont, and up and down that Choccolocco Creek in places. So, you know, was the farmers seeing some Bigfoot? I mean, it kind of sounds that way. I figured the Bigfoot were probably coming up out of the Choccolocco. You know, back then it would have been just property. It was before the National Forest Service took that over. So, you know, it would have been just private land through there. So, you know, did they come out of them hills? And, you know, maybe they were looking for food. Maybe they got run out by another bunch. I mean, you don't know. Something may have disturbed them. May have been some logging happening back then or something that disturbed them. So, but if you want to check that out, just type in Choccolocco, or you can put in Calhoun County Bigfoot. It'd probably pull up some websites where people went and researched that, where it has the articles and stuff like that about it. Now the next one is about 30 miles southwest of me, in the town of Clanton, Alabama, which is where our peach growing area is, Alabama. If you've ever come down I-65 south of Birmingham, you've probably heading toward Florida or Mobile, down that neck of the woods, you've probably seen the big peach water tank that they got on the side of 65. That is the Shelton County area. At this time, this was back in the 50s, some local peach farmers were noticing a lot of their peaches were disappearing. And this, go back to this a minute, this is before the deer population in Alabama rebounded. So deer were very scarce in our area. Some of the farmers thought it was other people doing it because they were finding footprints. One of the farmers ended up staking out his peach orchard, and he described seeing a big, tall, what we call a Bigfoot looking thing. The sheriff of that county got involved in it at the time. They tracked it down into what they call Walnut Creek. Walnut Creek empties into the Coosa. Walnut Creek's a creek that goes right through Clanton. They tracked it down into there and toward the Coosa River. According to one of the tales on this, this part was not in the newspaper, I don't think, but talking to a local person, they said they actually hemmed something up down in a holler, and it was roaring and carrying on, and nobody would go down in there with it. So maybe they had hemmed the Bigfoot up into a holler or whatever, and you know, this went on. So you can go in and type in, you know, just Bigfoot in Shelton County, Alabama on the web, and it'll pull up. You'll see where the BIFRO done some stuff on it, and you'll see where Animal Planet done a little thing on it, and I think several others. I didn't go in and try to pull everything. I just kind of gonna give you the information where you can go look at it and read it and you know something. So so there's some history here in Alabama of these things. Of course, back then they didn't call them Bigfoot or boogers. Well, and some of the old folks may have been calling them boogers, but you know, they were people seeing something. So, and then of course, the other one was what they called the werewolf lady of Mobile. This was back in the 60s and 70s when this went on. People were claiming they were seeing this werewolf looking female. So I'm assuming either something was showing, or I don't know how they were determined as a female. I never could get that out of the article real good, but the Mobile Register done several articles on it, and it was over in one community where this was going on a good bit, right on the edge of the outskirts of Mobile toward where the Mobile Delta is. Now possibly they, you know, were they seeing a dog man or dog woman? You know, is that what they were seeing? And he talked about it did chase several people and stalk several people, but never did harm nobody. Almost sounded like it was just really trying to run folks out from where it was at. But this was in the 60s and 70s when this showed up. That's all I can really do with it, but I mean, there is several articles wrote on it during that time period. So, you know, I mean, it could have been somebody playing a prank there in the 60s and 70s. Now, back in the early 1900s, I don't think somebody was playing no prank. And going back to the Shelton County before I forget, the sheriff of that county at the time, I can't remember his name, did take cast of the footprints, and for a long time they were on display in the Shelton County courthouse. Now I heard that they disappeared, conveniently, ain't it, sometime or another. Now I don't know if it was during, they may have done some renovations in the courthouse, and you know, and they may be, you know, in the basement of the courthouse now or something, or people got tired of looking at them or something. But they said for a long time they were, when you come in the front door on a table, the cast that he had done. It'd be nice to look at those. And I don't know, it'd be nice to find somebody from that time period that knew about that, you know, that could tell you a little bit about that. So I don't know who you would really find out to talk to down in that neck of the woods. So there's 4 things that kind of everybody knew about in Alabama. I mean, a lot of the, you know, the white thing's been tossed around for a long time. A lot of people in my area kind of knew about, you know, the Choccolocco monster and the Shelton County monster. I didn't really know about the Mobile werewolf thing till a few years ago. I found it and read about it. Now also there's a couple of others that were kind of maybe not talked about as much, more like in the region, and that was the Downy Booger up there in the Bankhead. And Greg Ogle's done an article, a you know, filming on it. And if y'all hadn't watched that, go watch it. This the legend of the Downy Booger, I think. Also, and there were some other places down in Tallapoosa County. There's a place everybody calls Booger Holler, and they say you can go down that road at night and get out and you'll hear stuff hollering and screaming at you. And then there's some other places in Alabama, some stuff's been talked about down around the Lowndes County area where I seen mine. And then over on the other side towards Selma. There's been a good bit of stuff talked about over in there. Now the other thing, as far as at one time they were talking about some type of creature living in the Coosa River. There's some newspaper articles on it going all the way back up to Rome, Georgia, and coming down toward my way. Talked about people seeing a big object in the water that looked snake looking, and it was seen several times by different people on the river, because parts of the river they used to be able to run steamboats on parts of the river. All of it they couldn't, because they, back then before it was dammed up, it did have some rocky places and some waterfalls on it, but in some places they could go 60-70 miles, you know, on the river. And they did run steamboats, I think from Gadsden to Rome, I think, at one time. Down our way they couldn't as much, because there's a lot of rapids and stuff in the river and waterfalls. So and then they used to, I think they used to come up with steamboats almost to Wetumpka, but there's some waterfalls in there. So there's a section from Gadsden down our way that they couldn't run steamboats, but they did run one for years up in that neck of the woods, and people would talk about seeing this snake looking creature. You could probably type in monster of Coosa River, and Coosa is spelled Coosa. It's Indian. This was supposed to be in the Coosa Kingdom at one time. This whole valley reaching all the way up to Rome, Georgia, all the way down in here past me, was considered, this was before the Creek Indian time, before the Creeks really conformed a confederation. And so then there's some talk about they seen it. Now, the Creeks in the Choctaw had a name for the boogers in my area, and they called it Lofa, which is L-O-F-A, Lofa. Also, I think there's another name that the Creeks called it too. There's several names, but they just said wild hairy man, I think what Lofa means. But that's, you know, which most people don't realize, the Cherokee, Chickasaw, and Creeks and Seminoles all spoke pretty much the same language. You know, so, but they just, I guess, had different names for them. I know the Choctaw called the ones over Mississippi cannibals. They had another name for them over Mississippi, called them cannibals. Over here they just called them wild man. So I don't know if the ones in Mississippi was a lot more aggressive toward people, or what the deal was really on that one. So, but I thought I'd give you a little tidbit, because I didn't really have nothing else to talk about. But that's something, if you really want to research and dive into some of Alabama's legends, I guess you call it, that'd be 5 things or 6 things that you could go look up, that there are newspaper articles about. I mean, you'll have to do some digging. Pretty much what you're going to do is find somebody that's went and done some research on it, and you know, where they present the newspaper articles, and there's some people that have. Of course, Evergreen, Alabama now is the capital, Bigfoot capital, Alabama, because of a lot of the sightings from down there. I think they have a big Bigfoot statue there somewhere right around town. I've never seen it. I think Joe and Pat and Flat Rock and them have. So if y'all ever down around Evergreen, Alabama, and you got time, you might want to whoop through there and look. That's where Tom Bacardi came at time and done a bunch of filming. There's a bunch of documented sightings from that area. And Evergreen's right off I-65 too. It's below Montgomery. I can't remember the mileage. Probably an hour from Montgomery down 65, if I remember correctly. So there's some history here. It's old history. But now I did go back and look just on the BFRO just to see what they were saying about local sightings. Last time they were submitted something from Shelton County was 2013. Last time from the Calhoun County area was 2008. Mobile, it's like it's been a while. Looked like back in the 80s last time something, you know, something was talked about on their site. But you know, I know theirs ain't the only one. There's other ones that were doing it. There's one lady here in Alabama. I wish I could find her. She used to have a website called I think it was Jerky Wildflowers and Bigfoot in Alabama or something like that. Boy, she really done a good job taking all the sightings from all the different websites and putting them in one for Alabama. She was taking the ones off of Mr. Mike and Mr. Tao's website, and BFRO and the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research, and I think she done Mr. McDonald's that used to have the Alabama Bigfoot Society. I mean, she was taking any of them she could find and she was putting them together, and I mean, she had a very impressive list. I don't know what happened to her, but she used to have a site, and she was putting it together. You know, she was showing the Alabama database, you know, from other people, of course, but hey, that still gives us something to work off of. I wish I could find that. I've typed it in 100 times on the internet and it just don't come to it. This is probably where I need somebody that knows how to really get it deep in the internet and look at that. So, all right, y'all, I'm not going to keep you much longer. We'll have her live tomorrow night. Just come and join us. May have a guest, may not have a guest. Other than that, I don't know of anything going on right offhand. Supposed to rain a good bit here tomorrow and Saturday. I do need to get down at Hollins and check the place out. I've not been very good about that, so maybe this weekend I can ride down there and check the place out. So, and see what's going on. If y'all know of anything, let me know. If any of you have a sighting you want to talk with me about, you know, I got my email address, mgreen35151 or you can find me on Messenger, Mark Green. You'll see my ugly mug on there. Just, you know, send me a message. You won't talk to me. I hadn't checked my email in the last few days. I probably will tonight. Sometimes I'll go a couple of days not to check my email. So if you send me something and I hadn't answered you, please don't think I ain't paying any attention. I am. But we'll go from there. Can't think of anything else right offhand. It's been quiet here at the house. Hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary. It's been very quiet. I was hoping to get my planting done, but with rain coming in tonight, that ain't gonna happen. This might end up being a year I don't get nothing planted. I don't know. Just you have to, you know, you can't fight the weather. Got to work for a living, so I guess I should have took some days off to take care of this when it was dry, but that's the way it goes. Another thing I know coming up here in a few weeks will be the Alabama Bigfoot Conference in Anniston. I think that's the second weekend in June, which will be something like the 8th or 9th or something like that. It's Friday and Saturday. It's at the Oxford Civic Center. It's just right off I-20, easy to get to. Mr. Barton Nunley and Martin Groves, I think Daryl Denton, I think the Tex guy that I've never met or talked to, and the Bonds and Booze. I think Greg Ogle's going to be there, and a couple of other people I didn't recognize their names. So if you have something you're interested in, it'll be up there at the Oxford Civic Center. I'm gonna probably go be my first one. Y'all know I'm not big on conferences. I'm not being ugly toward anybody toward it or nothing like that. I just ain't been big on it. But I'm probably gonna go to this one, and you know, support Mr. Nunley and them, because that's the way we do, is try to support people we, you know, try to back up and everything. So, all right. Don't know of nothing else. And yeah, there's 2 green tractors. Yeah, and Alice Chandler's right yonder too. So, Anyway, I'm gonna get off here and say a short prayer, and hopefully the next few weeks we'll have some folks on. We're getting in that time of year where the green up is going so well. It's going, hearing stuff's gonna be hard. If you think you got these things on your property, don't do as I do. Go and get you a recorder and be recording stuff. I got 2 recorders in here. Don't hardly ever turn them on. I don't know. It just ain't never been my thing, and I know I need to discipline myself on that and start doing better with it. But if y'all know of anything going on, please let me know that too. If there's any outings going on in Alabama that you see, let me know about it, or anything. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, we can figure out something about a fall outing. I need to go check out some places. That's why I really need to check out a few places and really see what's going on, and go ahead and get with Spencer and Greg and a few others and see if we can nail us down a date, maybe in October, for another meet and greet, or and then hopefully we can come up with something for next spring somewhere too, and go from there. So all right, y'all, I'm gonna get off here. Y'all remember, everybody, we got a lot of folks in our family that's having health issues. A lot of folks is starting to heal up. That's good. That's good to hear that the Lord's letting them heal. Y'all keep them in prayer. Y'all know Greg and Mr. Martin D. Y'all remember David Hughes and his family. He's having a lot going on with the health of his parents right now, so y'all be in prayer for them and him and his brothers and sisters. I know Miss Cynthia Johns, Gary Spikes, and I know there's a lot more unspoken. And y'all remember, just give a prayer for everybody in our YouTube family. Remember me and Rebecca. Just a lot going on here lately. I'm doing pretty good with the no sugar thing. I'm doing pretty good with that right now, so my weight probably will hopefully start dropping off. It'll help me a lot when I get out here and go to sweating and working every day. That helps a lot too. So y'all just keep me in prayers on that part too. And there's a lot of other people I know is needing prayers. If you need prayer, please leave it in the comments on this. I'm going to try to get back better about answering my comments. But if you need prayer, just put it in the comments. Or if you know somebody needs prayer, or just if you want to put unspoken, that's fine too. And that way tomorrow night I can bring it up on the live. All right, y'all, I'm not going to keep you no longer. I know I done said that 3 or 4 times, but then I keep thinking of stuff I need to say. So y'all go support everybody. Y'all love everybody. Get along with everybody. Try to be forgiveness. Try to get along. None of us are experts in this Bigfoot field or paranormal. A lot of us may have a lot more experience, or have experiences. There we go. That's the better way to say it. That don't mean we're experts. We try to help each other just by talking. There's a lot of answers I cannot give. I can't tell you. So all I can tell you is stuff I've experienced in the past and what I've seen it worked and what didn't work. So, but anything else, y'all let me know. Hopefully see you tomorrow night at 7. Hopefully we can do it outside. I don't know, it's supposed to be raining, so we may have to do an inside show tomorrow night. So anyway, love all y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Hope to see you tomorrow night. And let me say a little short prayer and we'll get off here. Lord, thank you for everything you do for us. All praise and honor be to you. We praise your Son. We praise the Holy Spirit. we thank you for them. Thank you for the food and clothing and housing or whatever else you give us, Lord, to maintain in life. Lord, be with all the ones I've brought up and the ones I didn't bring up. You know what all their troubles are, from health to drama to whatever, is bothering them, Lord. You be with them. Your will be done. Be with us through the rest of the week. Protect us in this weather coming in. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. All right, y'all. Love y'all. We'll talk with you later on next week, hopefully. See you tomorrow night on the live. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.